Hey guys, and welcome to my next top 10, which is the top 10 best anime of all time. I'll try to be as objective as possible when it comes to doing this list, but we all know that it will be slightly biased due to our nature of being unable to be completely unbiased. So I'm going to approach this list in a completely different way to my other top 10s, as each slot will be on a separate video, and it'll be more like a review where I'll be judging each series proper systematically. I'll be judging them all on these categories: the premise, the plot, characters, animation style, i.e. the drawing style, animation plus OSTs, entertainment factor. What I mean by entertainment factor, by the way, is like how much it makes you want to watch the next episode straight away, if you know what I mean. Its unique trait, which basically means if you had to sum up why you should watch the series and like what makes it stand out from the rest. And then there's these two final determining factors of how high they are in my list, which are the audience, like how wide the target audience can be for the show, and the overall rating that everyone who has watched it has given it. Some of these criteria need just a few words, whereas some are more in depth. So I'll give a score out of 10 for each category and briefly talk about each of these points. But, and that's a huge but, the final score I give to each anime does not give it its slot. So for example, I might have one with a final rating of like 9.8. Well, it's too high, I'm taking the piss. But it might be in like 7th place, even though my number 1 is only in 9, if you know what I mean. The order of this list goes by what I think is the most recommendable to all types of people. Like for instance, these are the anime, excluding number 10, that's an exception, that are suitable to a large audience. And the likelihood of one of these animes being your all-time best anime is really high. I don't know if my point came across correctly there, but I hope you understood what I meant. Anyways, after I've discussed these points, I'll briefly give you my opinion on the whole series. These 10 anime will be only from the anime that have been completely finished. Like when they ended, it had fully finished and only continued either in films or OVAs, or it's just speculation from the fans that there will be further seasons. There's only one on this list that doesn't follow that rule, but I'll explain myself when it comes to it. Thing is about this list as well, there are some anime that easily could have been in the top 10 rather than the ones that I put in, but the reason I put them in was simple. It's simply because I reckon most of these can be a first anime for a first time anime viewer, if you know what I mean. Except the odd one or two, which are in here because they have something in them that every anime viewer needs to experience. Anyways, I'll try to keep spoilers to an absolute minimum, and all clips used will be from the first episode of each respective anime. So if you have not watched any of the series in this top 10, you can watch the video as I will not be spoiling them. Now that I've said all that needs to be said, let's finally begin. In number 10 is Clannad and Clannad Afterstory. The premise. This series is about a lazy teenage boy that goes to school. That is literally all there is to the whole premise of the show. It's a really bland and uninteresting premise really, and if I had to give it a score, it would be like a 4.5 out of 10. The plot. The plot of the story is that this schoolboy bumps into a girl classmate that wants to start her own drama club. And as you find out as the story continues, this girl struggles to have friends, and so this guy, who's already quite popular, starts to help her out, and then it goes on from there. Yet again, it's quite a really boring plot, nothing that makes you think, oh, I'll get into this. So again, it'll get a really bad score of like 3.5 out of 10. However, this is where it gets more interesting. The characters. There are quite a few characters in this series, and you have the likes of the main character, who's just a lovable main character. He isn't amazing in any way, but he's just lovable. And then you have the main girl, who is also the same, nothing amazing, nothing special, but just lovable. And then around them, you have a bunch of other characters that seem to get development during the first season, but stops halfway through, so it's quite poor in that aspect. And other than the two main characters, who get exceptional character development by the way, these two, I've never seen character development like it, like a relationship grow, like theirs does in any other anime. But other than them two, no one else really gets any. So with that, it gets around a 7.3 out of 10. The character design. See, with this is what gets a lot of people put off with this anime, and I really don't blame them. Like, the plot with the combination of how the characters were drawn was really the main reason why I never watched it until only last summer, because it was a huge put off. Anyway, it's like the city that they live in, and the main character design is just like a normal typical drawing design, but the girls are all so mad. Like the girls all have huge mad coloured eyes, and the same with their hair. It's just stupid. It's really like, why do you need to do that? It makes it seem so much more childish than it is. So it gets like a 3.8 out of 10. And right now, you know what, this is starting to look really bad how I'm putting this anime through. Yeah, I'm saying it is in my top 10 animes of all time, but hold out with me right now, as these other factors are what makes it. The animation and OSTs. The animation and the OSTs with this anime are so bloody on point. Like, they really know how to capture each scene with those soundtracks. And like, even with the animation, it's, even though I diss the style of the drawing, like the colours and everything that they do with the anime is really good. And the soundtracks, I've got to say, they set the mood for each scene perfectly, and I rate it a solid 9 out of 10. The entertainment factor. See, with the entertainment factor with this show, it's quite a mixed one actually, because with Clannad, the first season is really slow, and it's so boring in my opinion. Like, when you finish an episode, you're not in any rush to start the next one, if you know what I mean. And to be honest, it's the same with the story up until around episode 9, and then that's where the plot really does thicken, and then you're left wanting to watch episode after episode, like, until it finishes really. So with that, I'll give it like a 6.5 out of 10. Yeah. The unique trait. And this one is single-handedly why this anime gets onto this list. Its uniqueness is that it is easily the most emotional anime I have ever seen in my entire life. Like, it hit themes so close to home that you actually want to break down with the main character and just cry. I'm not going to lie, one scene in particular put a lump in my throat, which is in my top 10 most emotional scenes of all time at number 1. Yeah, if you want to go on an emotional roller coaster, then Clannad is the one to go on. This can't really get a rating since it's just about its uniqueness, but when anything is emotional, its rating is always a lot higher. Now we can move on to the next criteria, which is its audience. And for this anime, it will not appeal to many at all. Like, from the front cover of this anime, it seems like it's an anime for young teen girls, and that's about it. And so the majority who have watched it are them. So it's not an anime for everyone, but somehow it is quite large in the anime community. So it has spread quite a bit, and it's due to its amazing emotional magnet. So I'll give it a rating of around 6.4 out of 10. And the final criteria now is the overall rating. On my anime list, the first season has a rating of 8.43 and the second season has a rating of 9.13. You hear that? 9.13. When I seen the ratings for this anime, it was one of the main reasons why I watched it, if not the only major reason I watched it. The majority of the community claim is the saddest anime out there, and some say is even the best anime out there. GR Arcada from Glass Reflections rates it as the best anime, and he is one of the largest, if not the largest, anime reviewer channels on YouTube, which says quite a lot. Now, finally, for my opinion. In my opinion, I wish you could watch Clannad Afterstory without Clannad, because for me, Clannad was absolutely shit. I'm sorry all the fangirls and fanboys, whoever loves Clannad, but the first season, you've got to admit, oh my god, how boring it was. Like, I dragged myself to watch it because I knew Afterstory was going to be amazing. Like, I'm not even joking, I rate the first season a 2 out of 10. No joke. Go on my anime list, yeah, and see it. I've actually rated it a 2 out of 10. But thing is, it has to be watched so you can get onto the good stuff of Afterstory. And even then, I wouldn't even rate Afterstory that highly, you know. It's literally, for me, from episode 9 to episode 19, which is absolutely perfect. Like, in my head, it ends towards the end of episode 19. That's where it ends. I'm not even joking. Between those 10, 11 episodes, yeah, I rate it a solid 9.8 out of 10. Like, there's no other anime that has reached that level of perfection. And really, I don't like recommending this anime to anyone because, like, it is bad. And for me, a 20-year-old who's into serious anime, this is just an embarrassment. Like, I'm used to watching Berserk and some others in this list that I cannot name due to not wanting to spoil. But I've got to say, the emotions felt with this anime and the feels finding Mrs. Perfect absolutely tore me apart. Just Nagisa, bro. Nagisa, she's my waifu. Nah, I'm playing. Now for the conclusion. With all that taken into account, I've come up with a sophistically calculated score of 7.8 out of 10. Now, before all you haters or lovers of the series start disliking this video, I'd like to thank everyone that supports me by subscribing to me and clicking the like button below. It really does motivate me to keep me going. So if you're a subscriber or new to this channel, please do subscribe, drop a like, and comment what you think of the series below. I'd like to read to see what you guys think. Peace out, and see you in the next review.